Alright, what's up there YouTube? So today I thought I'd talk to you about my cameras. Most of my videos are with this little Sony AX100. It's an awesome little camera. I love this little camera. It shoots really great footage. It's a little consumerish, but you know, it flips out. It's got the flip out LCD and you can pull the little eye thing out. It shoots 4K. You know that I've been shooting 4K on here. It has ND filters, built-in ND filters, which is really nice on the back. There's little built-in ND filters. Basically, you can put this thing in full auto mode. But if you notice, it's kind of big. So it's not... I did one video like testing vlogging with this thing, and it was kind of big. And I vlogged with my little... I have a little GoPro type of camera that I take out on the kayak. And it's okay for vlogging. The audio's not very good, so I have to record a separate audio. With this camera here, what I've been doing is I take... if you notice my audio, I'm sure you've heard it. You've watched the channel. But I take this little Bluetooth jobby, and it's basically a little... I did a review of this. If you go back and see my videos, I have tape all over this thing right now because I had to... the cover was messing up. I had to tape it back on. But it's basically a little Bluetooth wireless system. I plug the mic in, and the cool thing on the Sony is for this little capsule goes into the shoe adapter in the top of the camera, and it's actually gets all its power and everything from the shoe. There's a little connection, so it gets its power from here, so you don't have to put batteries in this little part here. You just put it in, turn it on, turn on this, turn on the little remote, and now it's Bluetooth connection directly to the camera. And it has like settings off, single, mono, or 5.1 channel for surround sound. So it actually will record. It'll use this if you're recording AVC HD. If you record an MP4, it doesn't have it. But it uses this mic in like a 5.1 surround sound and makes the wireless the center channel. So if you're talking in front of somebody, when this is set to 5.1, you'll be the center channel, your voice will, and then the onboard 5.1 mic will capture everything else around it. Kind of cool. But anyway, I'm getting into too much about this. So basically, this is the camera I've been using for vlogging, for not vlogging so much, but for my videos here on YouTube. When you watch the videos where I'm talking about different stuff, it's usually this little Sony 4K camera. Great little camera. It's a little workhorse. I really like it. But I picked up a new Panasonic, the FZ2500, to test and see how I like it. I might return it and go for the Sony Mark III or something. I even forget the name of it. It's that little RX10 Mark III or something, RX something. But it's a bridge camera. It's a point and shoot kind of like with a big lens on it. I was looking at those because that actually can use this same wireless mic, which is cool. Now the problem I had, I did a job the other day, and this wireless Bluetooth failed on me for the first time in the past 2 or 3 years since I bought this thing. When I did the review, I bought it, and I've used it on tons of gigs, and it's never failed me. It's gone in and out. I've had some fade if I was too far away, because it is Bluetooth, so you can only be about 60 to 80 feet away from it. So the camera I'd put it on, if they faced away and stuff, I would have some fade in it or a little bit of noise, but it never failed completely. This time I turned it on. I don't know if it's because I taped it or what. I turned it on. Luckily I was also patched into the sound system, and I had one of my trusty Tascam, which is what I'm recording on now, by the way, a little wireless mic. I had my trusty Tascam close to up close to where they were talking. So I still picked it up, but I didn't get it right directly off the person, so it hit me, and I was like, that's it. I've got to stop using this as the main audio on any gigs that are like a paid gig where I have one chance to get it, because if I didn't have those other audios as backups, I would be really screwed right now. But thank God I have other audio sources as backups. It's not perfect. That would have been the best if it worked out, but it didn't. Yeah, for some reason it just came on and it had a solid blue light, and I turned it off and it wouldn't go off. It was like the Bluetooth messed up, and I wasn't getting a signal back through the camera. I can see the signal meters moving. I bought the Panasonic FZ2500, the new. I rented the Panasonic. I had like a 4-camera shoot that I had to do last year, and they had 3 of us. I was using Nikon, the Sony, 2 Nikons and a Sony, and then I needed another camera for a different area. So I thought, well, I'll rent a camera. So sometimes I'll just rent a camera from, Lens Rentals and see how it is. So I rented the FZ1000 like last year, like 2 or 3 times. And it was a great little camera. Not perfect. The footage is okay. Wasn't perfect. Low light, not so great. But it was a pretty decent camera. Well, they came out with the 2500, which is basically the same thing as a GH4 on the inside. And I was like, well, yeah, this is perfect. It's got all the different things, records 10-bit. For video, it's fantastic. I don't know how it is for pictures. I'm going to check out the pictures on it. People say it was kind of soft on the pictures, so I don't know. I might end up going back with the Sony. I have a flash that will actually work on the Panasonic, so I've got an external flash for the Panasonic that I bought for my GH3, and I never used it because I started shooting on Nikons, like the one I'm shooting on now, the D750 and D600, and I haven't had to use the Panasonic flash again, but I still have it. It's a good Metz Panasonic flash. So I'm doing a test right now. I normally don't shoot this on the Nikons because the screen doesn't flip up enough for me to see what I look like well enough. The screen needs to flip out to the side. See, that's a big thing with cameras. You need to be able to flip this screen all the way around in order to do a good selfie mode. In order to be able to shoot yourself, you need to flip the screen around. So right now you can see you can't flip the screen around. So I have no idea how well it looks. So that's one of the things. A regular DSLR is not really good for doing vlogging. But on the other hand, the Panasonic FZ2500, perfect for doing vlogging. So I'm taking a trip this weekend. I'm going up. I've got to drive up to Atlanta, and I picked up a little Gorilla Pod thing to test with it. So I'm going to do some vlogging with it when I go up this weekend. I've got to go up and do a shoot on Saturday and turn around, come right back. So I'm not looking forward to it. Somebody said that it doesn't have steady shot, like the optical image stabilization and 5-axis, if it's in 4K mode. Now this one does. This one you have active steady shot and it works in 4K mode. So I don't know. Maybe the Sony, I don't know if the Sony even has, I don't know if the Sony DSLR type of camera even has that. So it's the Sony RX10 Mark III. One of the problems I have with the Sony, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, can you not set one of the buttons on the thumb to be your back focus button, to be your focus button? I don't use the shutter button to focus with. I back focus. I make one of the buttons in the back of the camera. I set the camera to continuous autofocus as long as you're holding the button, and then I hold the thumb button. Help me out here. Does the Sony do that? Because the Panasonic has a AF on, and you can reprogram that to make it the or A lock AF on or something. You can reprogram it to make it the focus. So when you push the shutter in halfway, it doesn't focus. I focus with my thumb. It's one of the things I do. I started practice doing it that way, and I like shooting that way a whole lot better than I can't stand using the shutter button to focus with. There we go. All right, so I got it. This is the FZ2500 recording now in the car. I just picked it up. I'm trying it out as a vlogging camera. You do have to hold it pretty far in 4K mode. I don't know if HD mode, but the battery needs to be charged, but I tried it out real quick. This is the very first time I'm shooting with it. It's okay. I might swap out to the G85 just because the G85, I love this. This lens is cool. I'm gonna try it out when I get back. The batteries and stuff are the same on the G85 as they are on this, so I can already use the batteries that I've already got. Plus, it has a super wide lens, and the image stabilization works no matter what you're on. I'm like 15 minutes from the house, but It's kind of cool that it has aperture priority mode, so I can check this out.
Victoria Drive South.
See how this thing works. For a vlogging camera, it is a little bit narrow for a vlogging camera, so I don't know. I'm going to take some pictures and stuff with it and see how it is for photos, and see how it works. Photos. I've got it set in aperture priority mode right now, so that it automatically compensates the dark areas. So it's like a kind of automatic. So I don't know. We'll see. And I bought this camera as my vlogging / backup additional camera just to have. It's basically a GH4, but with a built-in, big, huge built-in lens. And you can see that lens is quite large. It's quite a big looking thing. It's got quite a long zoom on it. I can hear the little click. It's got optical image stabilizer. It's got ND filters on the side, which I really like. I like that. It's kind of more of a video-centric type of a camera. When you turn it on, it sticks way out. So, but the cool thing is the LCD flips around like this, so you can do vlogging. Let's see. Right now I'm in 60p MP4. Okay, so it's got face detection. So let's see if it. Yeah. Okay. So it detects my face. So that's a pretty cool thing to have, is face detection on the camera. As long as I'm looking at it, it should be focusing on me. So if this camera was where that camera is right now, I could see the little box around my face and know that it was focusing on me, and I could also see what the picture looks like. I can see what this room looks like a little bit better than using like a DSLR or something like that. So that's nice. The two options I have was this, which I'm taking with me this weekend and vlogging with it all this weekend when I drive to Atlanta. So that my idea was to take this camera. I've got a photo shoot up there. I wanted to see how this camera shoots for photos. I took some photos with it. I'm gonna bring them into Lightroom, see how far I can push the photos. So I took the photos out. The things I like about the camera so far, I like the size of it. I think it feels good. It's a good size. It feels like a DSLR. It feels like a Nikon or something like that. The body's about the right size. The lens feels about the right size. It's a nice size. It's about the same width and size as the lens on that camera, which has got the 24-70. It's not nearly as wide as the 24. It's like 27, so it's not quite as wide as the 24 on that camera. It's got nice dials on it. The dial on the back is nice. It's good. Got good clicky to it. It's got good things here. It's got the quick connection. I like the buttons on the side of the lens here. It's got function buttons that you can set. They're automatically programmed for video. The first two are like slow zoom in, slow zoom out. I'll probably get rid of that. I don't do zooms I'd rather have it super fast zoom. And then, because I don't keep zooms when I'm shooting video, I cut out zooms. So if the camera's zooming, I'm cutting that out. I'm not using that footage. And then the last button on the bottom sets it so you can push that button once, and this button at the top becomes aperture, and this dial at the top becomes aperture, and this one in the back, or white balance at the top, white balance and ISO, or ISO and white balance, whatever, either way, one or the other. I like that. Quick hop to the white balance, hop to ISO real fast. That's a good button to have, where I can manually set the white balance real fast. That's nice. All the buttons and layout are the same as on, say, the G85. The G80, this camera here was like, I think it was $1,200 or something like that. It was like $1,200, $1,200 for people in different countries, other than the U.S. Why do in England do they pronounce H? Like it's H-A-C-H? H? The letter H, they pronounce it H. They add extra stuff. And in Australia, they pronounce assume. There's no H in assume. Let's see how I'm pronouncing it that way. There's no H in there. Where are they getting the H for assume? They said I assume. You assume? Why is your butt your ash? Or is it your ass? See, they can say ass, assume. There's no H. That's kind of odd. I don't know why you guys in Australia do that. Why do you guys pronounce it that way in Australia? Hey, I have a southern accent, kind of. A little southern accent because I grew up in Atlanta, but I was actually born in Connecticut. So my parents were from Connecticut and Maine, so I don't really have much of a southern accent, more of a kind of a mixed accent. I do have a little bit of southern accent to me though. So I do speak a little bit differently, but I don't pronounce assume. Assume. One of the guys I watched, it was saying assume. He kept saying assume, and I thought it was him. I thought, oh, he's got a speech thing. He says assume. He said assume. He's saying it wrong. It's his speech. It's a speech thing. And then I heard another guy from Australia say it the exact same way. I said, oh my gosh, they just say it that way in Australia. It shoots 4K at 30p, 4K at 24p, 100 megabits. It shoots 1080p, 60, 1080p, 24, 30, whatever. It shoots all the different things. It has a little flippy out LCD, which is all cameras should have a flip out LCD like this. It's a touch screen, so you can touch it where you want to focus. Like that a lot. But the G85 basically has all those same features, but the lens comes off. The G85 has in-body image stabilization. What I don't like about this camera so far, when I was testing in the car and stuff, in 4K mode, it has a basic image stabilization. It has the hand, but that's it. Just a basic image stabilization in 4K mode. So when you're zoomed in 4K mode, it gets kind of shaky. It needs to be on a tripod or on a monopod or something like that. But in HD mode, it has advanced image stabilization, whatever that is, and it's super smooth, like it's like a steady camera, like it's like the Sony, like my little Sony camera. This thing has image stabilization, but you can see the size. I mean, it's not that much bigger. You know, look, it's lengthwise, it's not that much bigger, this camera, than this camera, but this one here, you can see from the side, this one's like long and it's hard to get a good shot for vlogging. But this one here, it's okay. It seems like it's okay, but the lens automatically sticks way out, so it's still got some dust on it. Still gets kind of hard for vlogging. You have to hold it way out like this to vlog with it because it zooms that lens in. Even though it's on the wide end, it's still close to you. So I might end up going with the, for doing vlogging, I might go with the G85. But it also has in-body image stabilization and lens stabilization. So it gets like, just like it's got the same stabilization as the new GH5 on the G85, which is really cool. It actually came out before the GH5. Boy, GH5, G85, I'm getting confused with all these 85s and 5s and 55s and stuff. What is that got? Like a little gnat flying around me. I think the G85 might be my best choice. I might end up turning around and sending this one back and getting a G85 because I like this, that the lens is attached, that it's one piece. You just pick it up out of the case, start shooting with it right away, you're good to go. The lens hood is badass, isn't it? Look at that lens hood. That's a really cool looking lens hood. It looks really neat from the side like this, but technically, who cares? I mean, it's a lens hood. When it all boils down, it's a lens hood. Pretty cool camera, pretty cool. I'll look at the pictures and judge it from there, see if the pictures are good. It's got, you know, HDMI and headphone. It's got headphone and mic. It's got microphone and headphone in. I'm gonna go ahead and post this, and then I'm gonna do a whole big long another video, second video, talking about when I go this weekend. I'm leaving on Saturday morning. I'm driving for 5 hours, so I'm gonna do some filming with this camera in the car, do a little bit of talking, do a little bit of filming on the scene when I'm taking photos. I'm doing an engagement shoot up in Atlanta, so when I do the engagement shoot with my Nikon and stuff, I'll, you know, film a little bit of this. I like how this eyepiece sticks out from the thing, so even if you have your eye up to it, your nose isn't hitting the back of the camera, and you can actually have this. You can have the screen flipped around like this, and you can touch on the screen as you're focusing and move your focus point around real fast. That's really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's a really neat feature. That's it, YouTube. I just thought I'd show you what I was doing. I bought this FZ2500, the Panasonic FZ2500, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you couldn't stand it and think I just ramble on for no apparent reason and you're irritated with me, comment below and tell me about it. Give it a thumbs down. And let me you know, what do you want to see? Do you want me to film some stuff with this thing? Do you want me to do you want me to try putting it on a glide cam type of thing and try it out in different scenarios and see what you guys think? It's a great, I mean, it's a pretty good little camera. It's pretty nice, you know. Really, it's a bridge camera. It's a pretty nice camera for an all-inclusive camera. It comes with everything, but it's, you know, it's not a, you don't put this thing in your pocket, man. This is a big camera. You don't stick this thing in your pocket. It's something to take. It's a serious kit right there to be walking around with. Anyway, hit that subscribe button down there. Hit the little bell if you want to see whenever I upload something, because I don't upload stuff every day, so it won't be driving you crazy. I upload videos like once a week or something like that, and you know, when I've got something interesting that I'm doing, I'm always buying stuff or doing something. Like today, I picked up some network tools or something. I got some Wasabi batteries for this camera here. I bought another Transcend 64 gig memory card. I was wanting to put some ends on some network cable, so I picked up a network crimp tool and some stuff. I'm always buying some little. The Ryzen system's doing great. I got some LED lights and put them in there and hooked it up to the Asus, the motherboard, to get some more LED lights. It's still kicking. I mean, it's doing great. It's rendering everything fine. Rendered this video, edited the whole thing on here. System's running great, so I'm real happy. It's at 3.9 gigahertz right now, so I dropped it down to 3.7 volts, and so it's a little higher than it was before, but it's at 3.9 gigahertz, which is, I'm happy. 3.95 or something like that, just over 3.9. It hasn't caused me a single crash or hiccup or anything. It's just went into thing. It wakes up from sleep and everything. It's a great system. This system's awesome. It's great. I love this. I love the Ryzen system. Anyway, holler at you later, YouTube. Take it easy.